Hey friends, welcome back to A Kiki with Kita. Hey, let's talk about Beyond the Gates episode 121, all right? This was pretty much a filler episode. Nothing spectacular happened. So we're going to start with, let's see, and I'm looking at my notes here on my pad here. So Dani and Naomi finally talk, right? Naomi finally comes clean with her mother, and eventually, spoiler alert, she does come clean with Jacob. She finally tells her mom she has the BRCA gene. Of course, initially, Dani thought Naomi was going to tell her, hey, I cheated. No, it's the BRCA gene. And that she really wanted the focus to be on the grandma and not so much her. But now she's like, okay, with all that done, I can focus on me now, right? That's fine. Completely, I ain't gonna say completely understandable, but I'm glad she finally just got that off her chest and was able to share that with her mother and was able to just breathe a little bit, right? Next, Jacob and Andre. Jacob, since he's been off of this private, you can see my dog back there, y'all. But since he's been off of this private investigation of the plasma ring situation and the impaler, which I'm still kind of mad that they have not done anything with. I mean, what can they do? She's gone. They don't realize it was Joey's sister. Either way, that story kind of fell flat. But Jacob and Andre playing ball, get to know each other, having a kind of brother-in-law, father-in-law. Would you call him a stepfather? He says, I'm not calling you dad, right? That was hilarious. But they're having a man-to-man moment, I'll put it like that, which felt good because Jacob is trying to just get back to a little bit of normalcy and not let that impaler situation just really get to him. Because for a minute, it really was. Then we're off to the Smith, the Smith Dupree Hamilton household? I don't know, whatever they want to call them, right? But Smitty and Martin, they're sitting down with Samantha getting ready to have dinner. You know, every time I turn around, they're eating pizza. But okay, hey, listen, they're teenagers. Teenagers eat pizza. They're leaving, talking about, they're there and just making small talk with Samantha. Again, this is a filler episode. And Samantha basically is like, yeah, well, where's Terrell? Oh, you spending time with this girlfriend? Too bad she's going to dump him before she leaves to go to UCLA. They didn't realize that. Obviously, Terrell does not realize that. He will soon. We cut over to Terrell and Jessica at the clubhouse. They're leaving, playing pickleball. Listen, they teenagers, okay? They want to do what teenagers do. Okay. However, Jessica's parents are occupying the lake house and their regular home, so no hunching. Okay, as the old folks say, y'all ain't hunching this weekend. Anyway, then Anita and Vernon are back home. Anita, did y'all see Anita's new cut? Well, I think that's the actress's her actual hair. That short hairstyle looks wonderful on her. It's giving Eva the Diva, but with the gray hair version. Oh, it looked fabulous. Kat walks in and announces that this is when she tells the grands, as she calls them, that she's moving out and just bought a new condo. Obviously, they're concerned because they're like, okay, is this about Tomas? And, it kind of is that she feels like, it's time for me to grow up and be on my own, which is true, Jacob and Andre, they do more talking about getting the family together. Just really I loved seeing the camaraderie between Jacob and Andre also. Let's see where we at. Terrell back at the clubhouse. Him and Jessica, instead of being grown, they basically have a discussion on how can we solidify our bond and do something in memory of our relationship. He suggests getting a tattoo. Fast forward, when they do get their tattoos, Jessica gets a timeless quote. Tyrell gets the letter J. Initially, when presented to Martin and Smitty, they're both like, oh, you dedicated this tattoo to Jessica. What if she isn't with you in a couple of months, And he's like, it's for June, it's for June, my mother, instead of thinking it's about Jessica, he's saying it's about June. I still think it was about Jessica. Anyway, and of course, we see other scenes of Vernon and Anita reminiscing on good times and, their past lives and everything. Now they're really empty nesters now that Kat announced that she's going to have a condo. Now the scene that kind of gets a little deep was Naomi and Jacob. She finally just has to blurt it out. I have the BRCA gene, because he was just, even when she tried, every time actually that she tries to tell him she has the BRCA gene, he interrupts her or distracts her, or it's like, hey, let's go out to dinner, or let's do something otherwise. And she's like, listen, I gotta tell you right now. And I'm glad she did. Now she does tell Jacob that, hey, I had to lie because I really wanted to focus to be on the grandparents, but I've done my research. I wanted to get all these things together before I came to you. She even talked to Carlton, and Carlton is a plastic surgeon, but also I'm sure he's done some reconstruction surgery on people who have dealt with breast cancer and everything like that. So she actually is going to decide to have both, double lumpectomy? She's having both of her, she wants to have both of her breasts removed, essentially. And upon further research of even my own, apparently, because initially I, like many others, thought, wow, that's very drastic. But many people go through this so they will have 0 chance of cancer, which, oh gosh, that's a deep decision to make, especially when it's just a deep decision. That's a very personal decision. Jacob seems to support her. I think he is obviously he is. He's a stand-up kind of guy. Whatever she wants to do, whatever we got to do to keep her safe, and as they say, together forever. She wants that love that Vernon and Anita have, her grands, right? She wants that love. And she's like, I'm going to do whatever it takes, right? And obviously, if she talked to Carlton, maybe she could get some type of reconstruction situation going. I'm trying to keep it PC for the internet crowd. Anyway, so Dani, and then the other thing too, Kat initially goes to Martin and Smitty and thinking she needs to apologize. I think if you watched yesterday's episode, or last night if you saw it on Peacock, everyone was like, girl, why are you apologizing? Martin should be apologizing to you. And actually, that's what happened. Kat went over there with the intent of apologizing, and instead Martin was like, no, I'm the one that was wrong. I'm very proud of him for that. Because, yeah, Martin, you're not the one that had to give away part of your body to save someone else's. Sorry, not sorry. I'm glad he apologized. Finally, towards the end, Dani, obviously Andre comes home, or they end up talking. Dani's crying on his shoulder about Naomi's results. In my opinion, Dani always seems to just make everything about her, but that's neither here nor there. So that forces them to have a discussion, though, of what does Dani want to do next? And she's like, hey, I'm going to the doctors. I'm eating healthy, everything like that. And he's like, but there are other options. She loses it, gets all extra emotional, runs out the house, and basically the last thing she says, I'm going to talk to somebody who will understand my feelings. If in Friday's episode she ends up at Bill's house, we gonna know something, okay? Why are you at Bill's house? She better go see her grandmama. She better go see her her mother. Excuse me, y'all. She better go see her mother. That's what I know. Do not show her at Bill's house, and I hope Haley goes off if she is at Bill's house. All right, let me not get emotional about that, but thank y'all for watching Kiki with Keita. Let me know what y'all think so far about how the stories are going on. I think I'm going to do a separate video about, I have a couple of bones to pick with the writers, if I'm honest. But comment, like, subscribe, share this out. And yeah, let's finish talking about some more Beyond the Gates storylines. All right, have a good one. Bye.